Well, happy Sunday morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. Such as it is for Sunday morning, this is Sunday morning. It's Sunday, the more informal side of the broadcast that we do, as most of you who've been here many times before know it. And we're not doing a formal, intrepid radio on Sunday mornings. It's just get together, have some coffee, talk about topics that's on everybody's mind. Good morning, Steph Cuervo Queen. Good to see you. And everybody else who's in here, Rendell Flagg, Field Guy. What, you were streaming earlier today or yesterday or what? Field Guy, haven't seen your streams in a while. Doctor Who, good to see you this morning. Not sure who Doctor Who is. I don't know if I know you or not, or if that's a friend of Field Guy's. And let's see, who else did I see that I didn't recognize right away? There was Doctor Who, and there was somebody else, I thought. Oh, Red Rum. So just stopping by. I'll catch more soon, says Red Rum. Oh, Doctor Who came from your stream. So you abandoned your stream to come here, Field Guy? How very cool. Thank you. What were you talking about today? Because it being Sunday morning and a more informal show, I don't really plan much for Sunday mornings other than we go through a few current events or we talk about some things that are on our minds, doing that kind of stuff. And you can call into this show, anybody who's out there, you can call in and express your thoughts. And the call-in number, of course, is it's in the description down below, but I'll paste it into the chat room as well. There we go. I don't think we'll have Raini this morning. She's becoming less and less, more and more infrequent to Sunday morning with Scotty and Raini. So we've got to get her set up a little differently. We've got to get her on a mic of her own, over on her own computer. She can join that way. Although it's nice having her right here next to me. She doesn't always wander in on Sunday mornings. So, all right, Carlene, get in there and bang those pots and pans. Make some barbecue. For your goodbye barbecue. Nothing wrong with that. LSU lost last night, so I didn't stream then like usual, said Field Guy. What do they normally win? Wakes up Rainy and then runs. There you go. Yeah. I don't even know if she's up, to tell you the truth. She was in the kid's bed last night. The kid needed extra parenting at bedtime, and Rainy fell asleep up there in the kids' room. I don't even know how she sleeps in there. I got to tell you the truth. It's hot. It's small. It's crammed. And every now and then, it's the little one. Not even a little one. She's a big one, getting to be a big little one. She's the youngest, the 8-year-old, soon to be 9. And has mom come in there and spend some time with her at night. And then sometimes mom just falls asleep up there. And there she is in the kid's bed. And I'm like, hey, wake up. But no, I don't want to wake her up in the middle of the night. So I couldn't do that, tell you the truth. So I have not seen her yet this morning. She's still sleeping up there. But I have heard feet walking around all over upstairs. But I can tell when it's raining because it's not a child feet. So take the bad with the good. Fair weather after the game streamer. Oh, there you go. You're addressing Field Guy and games and stuff like that. I get it. So what's going on with everybody today? How was your Sunday morning? I actually came in this morning with absolutely nothing to talk about. And it usually develops into whatever we want it to be. What's on everybody's minds? What's plaguing you this morning? What's vexing you? What's got you happy? What are you doing? What's going on with your spirituality? What's going on with politics? What's going on with travels and mystery and adventure and all of those kinds of things. What's going on with you all this morning? Give me something. Give me what you got, and let's talk about it. You can call into the show and we can talk about it. Usually, Ruben Fasthorse pops in on a Sunday morning. I have not seen him all week, so we might not see much of him today. And what's in the current news? What do you think? Of course, we all know about the all the crap going on with the impeachment inquiries and the whole funding. The government has been pushed out another 45 days. And where are you on that? Should it have been refunded? Should we put in stopgap measures? Should we let it go until the budget's fixed? That's a good question. What do you think? I could go to places like Yahoo. I don't even go to Yahoo for news anymore because Yahoo is so bent in one political direction. It's not even interesting to look up. Biden signs the stopgap spending bill, which is a blow to Ukraine. How do you feel about funding Ukraine? The Ukraine aid falls by the wayside as Congress passes this stopgap bill just yesterday, or the wee hours of yesterday. And the lawmakers, our Congress, they omitted further aid to Ukraine in a measure to be passed yesterday to avoid federal government shutdown, signaling that U.S. support for funding its fight against the Russian invasion is getting harder to come by for Ukraine. What do you think of that? Should we be funding Ukraine? Why shouldn't we be if we shouldn't be? What's everybody have to say about that? Here in this article, it says the House GOP leaders scuttled another $6 billion in aid for Kiev in a bill that passed both chambers hours before a midnight deadline. And the decision, at least for now, dealt a blow to President Vladimir Zelensky, who last week met with President Joe Biden and lawmakers in Washington to personally plead for new weapons systems, including F-16 fighter jets and longer-range ATACM missiles. And the Biden administration and lawmakers from both parties sought to reassure the Ukraine that U.S. military wouldn't stop and that assistance may be supplied in a separate bill down the road. And so yada, yada, yada. Biden said in a statement on Saturday that somebody, I'm sure, wrote for him, the overwhelming majority of Congress have been steadfast in their support for Ukraine, and that he expected Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to help secure additional funding. We cannot under any circumstances allow American support for Ukraine to be interrupted, said Joe Biden. Now, when I hear that he's saying it, I know it's not him saying it. It's the people who run him and tell him what to say, which I'm totally against. So it's like I want to be, is it right to say there's not much of anything that comes out of the Biden administration that I want to say, yeah, I'm on board with that. Yeah, good idea. I immediately, before I even know the ins and outs of the issues, I want to be on the opposite side of it. Why? Because it's that administration that is wreaking so much damage on our economy, on our country, on our stance in the world. And so Biden goes on and says, I fully expect the speaker will keep his commitment to the people of Ukraine and secure a package of the support needed to help Ukraine at this critical moment. Yada, yada, yada. So it goes. What do you think about Ukraine? Who's got an opinion on that? Should we be funding Ukraine? What do you think about demons? Got any demons in your house? Let's see. Steph, you're talking a lot over here. We should take care of our own first. Damn straight, woman. Maybe Zelensky should sell his $4 million home that he had his mother-in-law just buy and pay for some stuff. Yeah. I'm sure they'll find ways to funnel money over there. I'm pretty sure. I wonder if they're funding the war, says Field Guy, from the money in Pelosi's freezer. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Our weapons are ending up in Mexico, says Randall Flagg. Yeah, that's true. There's a story behind that, too. No more for Ukraine without oversight. Yeah, I agree. We're giving them far too much money. Now, the big thing is what's going on in Ukraine? Is that a proxy war? Are we fighting a war with Russia? Only we're using pawns. So we can say, well, we're not involved. We're not doing it. We're just funding them. And isn't funding Ukraine against Russia a proxy war? Isn't that the description of a proxy war? Of course, there are analysts that will look at it and say, if we let Ukraine fall to Russia, that's going to have a lot of impact in the whole region and a lot of our interests over there, and a lot of Eurasian interests. So it would benefit us to support the war going on over there. So I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you think about the war? Are we supposed to be supporting it, or should we be pulling out of it? I know Donald Trump said, elect me and I'll have that war over in 24 hours. And I think he's probably right, because he just withdraw funding. I don't know. What do you think? What are you thinking, Carlene?
Well, as far as Ukraine, I think we've sent them enough money. I understand we have to help our allies, but when is enough enough?
Mm-hmm. When do we help our allies over helping our own people?
Exactly.
When should we help our allies as opposed to fixing our border?
Yeah. I mean, we've sent them how many billions of dollars now?
Yep.
Come on. If they were in our shoes, swap places. If we were in a war, how much would Ukraine send us?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. I only popped in real quick. I didn't know. I wanted to hear after what you talked about if you've heard any more on that tree.
On the tree, I haven't heard anything. I could look it up and find out what's going on with that. The sycamore.
Yeah. I see it was funny after you had spoke of it and we talked about it on the morning show. It popped up in my news feeds. I said, how odd.
Yeah.
How odd.
Let's see. I know that it was cut down. I want to see if they have any more that they've had to say about it. A second man is arrested over the felling of...
oh, wow.
A second man is arrested over the felling in England of a much-loved tree near Hadrian's Wall. And it says here, British police on Friday made their second arrest over the cutting down of a 300-year-old tree near the Roman landmark of Hadrian's Wall in the northeast of England. Hours after 16-year-old was freed on bail, Northumbria police said a man in his 60s was arrested and is being questioned in custody. The senseless destruction of what is undoubtedly a world-renowned landmark and a local treasure has quite rightly resulted in an outpouring of shock, horror, and anger throughout the Northeast and further afield, said Detective Inspector Rebecca Fenny Menzies. I hope the second arrest demonstrates just how seriously we're taking this situation and our ongoing commitment to find those responsible and bring them to justice. The 16-year-old boy was arrested on Thursday on suspicion of criminal damage after the tree was destroyed overnight. And why anyone would want to cut down one of England's most iconic trees has left people across the UK baffled and angry. Robert McFarlane, a renowned nature writer, said he was sick to the core to hear the news about the tree, which was known and loved by millions. I just see this as a part of a piece with a much broader hostile environment toward the living world in this country, he told BBC Radio. It was a tree that ashes were scattered under, marriages were made under, and it was a shelter for tired walkers. McFarlane said he was buoyed by the widespread disgust that followed news of the tree's felling and suggested that a new forest be planted in its honor. And following centuries of industrialization and urbanization, Britain is considered to be one of the most deforested countries in Europe. And the tree was one of the main landmarks along Hadrian's Wall, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, built nearly 2,000 years ago when Britain was part of the Roman Empire to guard its northwest frontier. And for generations, walkers have paused to admire and photograph this tree at Sycamore Gap, which was made famous when it appeared in Kevin Costner's 1991 film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And the National Trust, which for more than 125 years has sought to protect England's heritage and natural landscapes, said it's currently making the site safe and helping staff and the community come to terms with the news. And the tree, which was cut down near the base of the trunk, could grow again, experts said, though they cautioned that it would never be the same.
Yeah.
It's worth a try, but I think livestock and wildlife will potentially damage it as well. Said Rob Turnett, the head gardener at the Alnwick Garden nearby, and it'll be very difficult to get it back to the original tree. And Turnett said that the first shoots of the recovery could start to appear in the spring, and the tree could get to be about 8 feet tall, though it'll be bushy. It was about 300 years old, so it'll take a long time to get back to that size, he added.
Yeah, I recall somebody asking on the live yesterday morning if somebody else wasn't involved and how a 16-year-old did that by himself. And
right.
Yeah, it's sad. I'd been scoping through the news, but I said that'll be something for Scotty to bring up because it just shows, it's insane.
It is. It's a dumb thing. And of course people would go, oh, all this outcry over cutting down a tree. Well, it's not a tree when a tree becomes a symbol of something, and a landmark and a national treasure, then it becomes a symbol of something much deeper.
Yeah.
The cutting down of it had obviously had other roots to it, no pun intended.
Yeah, just like them destroying our statues. I mean, it's the same thing. It's iconic to some people, and some people just don't give two dams about anything.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna pop out. I just wanted to bring that up. I knew you could. I knew you would know where to find that. But I'm gonna pop out and get on my macaroni salad before my house gets overwhelmed with people today.
All right. Well, you have fun cooking.
Oh yeah, I do it all week for work. It's like, yeah, I'd like a day off, but that's okay.
All right, Carlene. We'll see you later. Bye. All right. So, Randall Flagg, Zelensky's claimed that his fame was playing the piano with his pee-pee. I could do that too. I can't crack out much of a tune, but I can make noise. So, just to play piano, don't you have to have like a lot of fingers that can, go all over the place? So, is it playing piano or bouncing out a melody one key at a time? Or you can probably hit 2 or 3 keys at a time. Wham! But a good talent to have nonetheless. So, let's see. What else we got going on? You could do that too, huh, Steph? Yeah. That would be interesting. You can go to Steph's OnlyFans site at OnlyFans Steph Plays Piano. So what else we got in here? All right, so there you go. Your turn. What do you guys? Yeah, really, says Field Guy. You got Field Guy intrigued over there. So what else is going on in news today? Let's see what's on AP News, since that's where I was. I can join now. I can decline. There, I've declined. There's that woman. Her remains were found after gone missing in Colorado 3 years ago. There's that story. Let's see. What did they say about it here? Oh, nothing. Still scrolling. Let's see. Kat Timpf's inheritance makes the headlines. What's her inheritance? Kat Timpf, she's on, of course, Greg Gutfeld's show. Oh, it's an ad. It's one of those stupid sites that makes you click from person to link to link to link to see what the hell they're talking about. It's something talking about people's estimated net worth. So, what are some people in here worth? Let's see. Yeah, it's all on advertisement, though. I don't even want to look at it. So, this stuff drives me nuts. I think I'm looking at an article, and it's not an article at all. It's an ad to get you to scroll through clickbait. Let's see. So there's a statue of a Spanish dude in New Mexico that has brought violence, and it's scrolling too fast, so I can't see it. See if it gets back to it. Trump animates the California Republicans with calls to shoot people who rob stores. Oh, that's a great headline. That's a headline used to try to sway people's thinking. In an occasionally dark and profane speech, Donald Trump on Friday sought to win over Republicans in California by complaining that rich people in Beverly Hills smell bad because they're denied water, reiterating lies about widespread election fraud, and calling on police to shoot people robbing stores. Well, you can tell the political slant of that article before you even go any further than the opening line. So this is through the AP, Associated Press. That's all the further I'll take that. Not interested in their news. It's like Yahoo News. Anytime I've seen an article and it's Yahoo News, I don't even want to read it. Why? Because it's usually very much slanted to the left. They suggested shooting with sand or something not so lethal. So, yeah, maybe if I had read more of the article, I could have found that out. But it's something I've noticed when they talk about Trump. They talk about him, and he's kept reiterating the fraud that's been proven to be fraud, the election fraud, and I don't know that that's been proven. So that's it, Steph. If Trump said that, it's because he's saying what everyone's thinking. Yeah. Let's see. Let me see if there's different articles. Trump suggests shooting robbers in Cali. What it says. See what some of the other headlines say. And this just give you some insight. The Guardian. Trump calls for store robbers to be shot. KCRA. Trump animates California Republicans with call to shoot. CBS. In Anaheim, Trump advocates shooting people who rob stores. Yahoo. Trump suggests shooting shoplifters during California GOP, whatever, it trails off. WION. Trump advocates shooting robbers in fiery California speech. TRT World. Trump fires up California Republicans with calls to shoot. Ground News. Trump animates California Republicans with calls to shoot. Let's see. Law Officer is the site, lawofficer.com. Former President Donald Trump says that robbers can, and then it trails off. Let's see what that says from a law officer site, a site that's in support of law enforcement. Former President Donald Trump says that robbers can expect to be shot. The former president said that as president, theft would stop. Let's see. The former president said that as president, theft would stop. In a fiery and sometimes profane speech, blah, blah, blah. At the Anaheim Convention Center on Friday, Former President Trump said that if he were president again, the people savagely looting stores could expect to be shot on sight. The comments came after cities across America are seeing a spike in violent crime and retail theft. Lower penalties combined with weak prosecutors are just a few of the factors that have led to the phenomenon. We will immediately stop all of the pillaging and theft, Trump said during remarks at the California GOP Fall Convention in Anaheim on Friday. Very simply, the ex-president explained, if you rob a store, you can fully expect to be shot as you're leaving that store. Shot. And the crowd of about 1,500 Republicans responded to the proposal with chants of Trump. So was he advocating that you should shoot people? No, he was saying if you're going to rob a store, you should expect that somebody's going to defend their property, as the Constitution guarantees our right to defend our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, our property. So that's interesting. And it's interesting the different takes that the different politically slanted websites make. So there you go. So, do you think a store owner should be able to shoot somebody who's robbing his store? Now, if a little kid's stealing trading cards or bubble gum, does he deserve to be shot? No. I don't think that's what any of that means. I think it means if somebody's looting your store, you have the right to defend yourself and your store. Or taser them all, says Steph. There it is. Steph says, absolutely, depending on the situation. There it is. Depending on the situation. You've seen a lot of these cam videos where there are store owners or managers or something that are threatened at gunpoint. And then as the robber's leaving, the store clerk pulls out a shotgun or something or whatever it might be. I don't know if they're already leaving. Is it legal to shoot them in the back? I think it's shooting to defend yourself, shooting to defend your property. Elderberry says, yes, blow them away. So depending on the situation. Yeah. So some suggested Saudi-style justice, said Randall Flagg. Would that be cutting off a hand, cutting off a head, things like that? And what is it? What if you're shoplifting dish detergent for your dishwasher versus shoplifting what? Could it be anything? Is there a dollar amount that says, okay, you can shoot this guy now? Tasers mounted on the front counters, maybe. That's always nice. It's like, I'm going to go shopping in this nice environment where there's tasers mounted on the counter already. Yeah, and I'm sure there are some neighborhoods that that's all right, and it's almost dictated. But Steph says, so I carry, but I do not have it on me at work. I have bear spray and a blade. But I wish I was carrying on Thursday. I'm seen in how brazen people are now even in broad daylight. Yeah. Seeing how brazen people can be even in broad daylight. Yeah. Exactly. Why don't you have it on you at work? Do they not allow it in the store, or you just, I don't carry it to work with me? I think there's so many encounters you can have when you're at work and on your way to work, your way home from work. And it'd be good to have it with you. A deterrent, says Susie Q. That's it. Remember the days when you stole somebody's cow, you could get hung. No questions asked. Did you steal this cow? We found this cow tied to your fence post. So you could string a guy up for that. I have often wondered what it would take for me to. And, if somebody broke into my house, I would have no compunction laying them low by gunshot. Again, depending on who it is, But, as I've heard the police say before, I've heard tell me personally, don't shoot to wound, you dot your I. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. I said, you take them out if they're in your house. And that was a different type of situation, but I just never really felt the need to carry, says Steph. I've always been and felt quite safe. That's good. Huh. Excuse me. Oh, it's not you guys, it's me. I had another one of those nights where slept good. I knew I had to get up. I had to have a call with a client this morning at 8:00. And so I had my alarm set for 7:30. And of course, I woke up at 3:45. And I was wide awake. Laid back down for a bit at 3:45. I don't know if I slept at all. I had the TV on. And Raini wasn't there, so it was like, you get all, I'm just laying here asleep now and trying to sleep. And so I woke up at 5, or got up at 5 finally, and I made something to eat. I thought I'm hungry. And I had some oatmeal, gluten-free oatmeal. That sounded good at 5 a.m. So I had some of that. Hey, Ellery, where's Mom? So tell Mom to say hi. So there's Ellery on her phone upstairs looking at the show. So I woke up at 5, finally got up, and then laid back down. I suppose about 6:15, fell back to sleep. Then the alarm goes off at 7:30, hour and 15 minutes later. And then I feel just dead to the world. It's like wide awake early in the morning. And then feeling super tired when I finally woke up for the day. Had to get up for the day. Somebody came down the stairs. Not sure who it was. So, I say Raini spent the night up in the little girl's room last night. So I don't know if she's going to show up this morning or not. Hello? In the bathroom, says Ellery. Is that Ellery or is that Raini? So, hello. So, did you just come down the stairs, Ellery? Talking to my family in my house via the radio show. So, are y'all ready for winter? It's coming. It was warm and humid here yesterday, but fall's coming. It's already starting to look like fall. Now, not all the trees have changed yet. They're just barely starting, but you're seeing it. Trees are dropping leaves. It's looking autumn outside, even though there's no colors quite yet. It's going to get pretty bright here in about a month, 2 to 3 weeks, somewhere in there. They say second week of October is prime color season up in the North Shore, Lake Superior, up by Duluth and north of Duluth, the Arrowhead region of Minnesota, they call it, and up all along the North Shore of Lake Superior. That it's prime color, usually the second week of October. So that's coming up. Is today the 1st or is tomorrow the 1st? No, today is the 1st. It's October 1st today. Happy October, folks. It's Halloween month. So we do have our Halloween decorations up outside. So heck no to winter, says Randall Flagg. Yeah, I'm done with. I was done with winter when it ended last time. Dragged on this last year. So who knows what it's going to do this year? Don't know if it's going to be. Last few years we've had a lot of snow on Halloween. I don't remember growing up with snow on Halloween, but we've been having it a lot the last several years. So we'll see where we are this year. We're going to get snow on Halloween. So I'm hearing footfalls upstairs. It sounded like an adult. I think that was Ma. So winter can go, said Steph. Yeah, I agree with you. I could live without there being winter this year. Well, winter can be here. I just don't want it all snowy and icy. I don't mind cool. I don't mind. I love fall weather. I like a good sweater weather, nice jacket. But I really am over the heavy snow and ice. I watched in the middle of the night, the TV popped on a show. I had shows just playing on YouTube. I was watching a history show or something when I went to bed. And it's interesting to see where when that show goes off, it takes you to another thing automatically. It's interesting to wake up and you start by watching shows about history and ghost hunting or whatever, and then you wake up and it's like South Korean origami show. Like, wow, why that's a natural tendril of the other two. So I was going to say something about that, and I so rabbit trailed off my point that I forgot what it was. But I was watching something. Something popped on. Oh! It was a Ghost Hunters episode with Grant, the new Ghost Hunters from this last season. They were up in Alaska, and I'm looking at the snow all over everything, and they're trudging their luggage from the boat landing up to the hotel, and there's nobody to pick them up. They're dragging all their luggage through the snow, and I thought, and there's a couple of parked cars, and they've got a foot of snow on them. I thought, oh, that's coming. We're not far away from that. I think we're going to get walloped, says Steph. Last winter was a no snow with no snow. No show with no snow. And just feel the payback coming, says Randall. Hi, you're coming down and staring at me for what reason?
Guess what color I'm going to paint my room?
I don't know. Come over here. Don't talk to me off over there. So the 11-year-old says, guess what color I'm going to paint my room? So, no, you're painting your room? I haven't heard about this. So it'll be interesting. It's a different color every week. She wants to paint her room. That's a bad word. What, snow? Yeah. Snow and ice is one word. Oh, that's kind of nice. It's a nice...
it's not... It's like when it dries...
It's a nice vermilion color.
When it dries, it's a hot pink.
There you go.
And I don't know if I'm going to use this color. I think I'm going to mix it with a pink to make it more hot pink.
All right.
Because I saw a video and someone painted a thing hot pink.
Make sure that's tight before you go tipping it. All right.
And so now I'm going to paint it hot pink.
All right.
But I need to paint it white first.
Those are my mural painting paints.
I need to paint it white first. But the white paint, there's a giant spider by it, so I'm not going to grab it.
All right.
You have to do that.
Steph says that's her kind of color. I just saw a friend of mine on Facebook. They took a room of their house and made it into a jazz lounge. Just a regular bedroom. And it's all red with red curtains, and there's a black carpet in it. And hold on. Don't just barge in like that and do that. I see you're watching the show. Very fun. So maybe we'll have a mom appearance today. So we'll see. But yeah, they were. She was talking about how they, she and her husband. She said and they've got some nice furniture in there. It's kind of your old Victorian look, or you might think goth. You know, Victorian is the new goth, or goth is the old Victorian, or something. But red sofa and chairs, and they had a little round table in there with cards on it and drinks, and they'd done up all the red curtains. And she said, you know, you think we have money. She said, we don't. She said, we just have creativity and a bit of that. I'll bet you we can make this look good type of mentality. And so you could do something kind of cool. I think your home is a place where you should express your creativity. Just have 4 flat walls, the color slapped on it, and a sofa and a TV. You know, there's things you can do. And for not all that expensive. It's like we're doing our floors upstairs for a fraction of the cost. Now we had to go buy the flooring. Talked about this last week. And but we found flooring that was inexpensive. We didn't get cheap flooring. We found flooring on sale. And it was about 80 cents a square foot. And so it's going to look nice when it's done. So, so we've had a whole week of not finishing that floor upstairs. It's been a busy week. We decided to paint the floor first, the plywood that's down on the floor, because we had to let everything settle in there, trying to get all the smells and stuff out of the floor from 30 years of people abusing the carpet and the floor in there. And so we just finally said, well, I think the best way to do it is just paint over it. So we just we put down a layer of paint primer before we're going to put the padding down for the floor. We had to let that dry solid, like bone dry, for a few days. So it's now ready to put the flooring down. So we got to get on that. Just call this old house. Just call this old house. That way you can promote everything. Yeah, we should. This old house. We call it the Roberts house. Or come up with something more creative than that. Yeah. Then everything's a tax write-off. I do a show. You know. We don't know enough to do a how-to show. Maybe the good videos would have been if we had taken it from the very beginning and shown what crappy carpeting was in here. And it wasn't threadbare, but it was nappy. And it had been here for I don't know how many people had lived here before us. But finally just said, this is coming out. And you start pulling it up. It was literally shredding. It was just the old typical apartment grade carpet and beige, nondescript light tan beige, and stinky. And you know, what we started to notice was we'd be out for the afternoon, we'd come back home, and our house just smelled musty. It's like, why does the house smell musty? Now, yeah, we'd had water damage in the basement, flooding. Let's put it that way. There wasn't a lot of damage. And so there's no mold down here. We got it all cleaned up. But, you know, we've got that problem is now fixed. So I don't think we'll have any more flooding. But the upstairs, we'd walk in and it was just, it smells musty. And I'd want to just come home and burn incense. And as Rainey's grandma used to ask, because we always burned incense, are you guys smoking things you shouldn't smoke? Only those kind of people burn incense in their home. We're like, no, we burn it because we like the smell. And so Yeah, there you go, Steph. It was triggering allergies left and right. And so we pulled that all out, and it's nasty. When you pull it up, you know what I mean? You start pulling that stuff, and you just want to go, you want to put on a mask. That's the only time I'd wear a mask, just to keep dust and dirt and crap out of my mouth and out of my breathing it all in. And there was and I mentioned this last time I talked about this, but there was, that powdery stuff you can buy. It's like baking soda. You sprinkle it on your rugs and you just vacuum it. That takes all the odor out of your rugs. And but you know what it does? It settles into the fibers of the carpet and then down below the carpet. And so that, combined with the dirt and dust of the carpet and the pad deteriorating, the number of animals, I don't know how many, it looks like they had a whole menagerie of animals pissing on the carpet at some point. When we pulled it all up, you look at the padding underneath and how stained it is. Then you look at the floorboard underneath, the plywood, how stained it was. And there was piles of the dust, the dirt, and it all smelled like air freshener, stale air freshener. It was that stuff that had settled into the carpet. We swept it all up, then we vacuumed it all up, and we had a couple of days where it's just hazy in there because it's all in the air. So we did everything we could to suck that crap out of there, and that's finally why we finally gave it one more good sweeping and vacuuming and just painted it all over once we got it all cleaned up. So it was nasty. Now we're putting down the wood laminate flooring. So, yeah, it'll be good. But that gave us the opportunity, too, to paint the walls. So, and this is stuff you can all do. If you got a place where you're living and your home, you want to be nice, it's fun. It's fun to do. There's some frustrations with it. Of course, it's natural. You're doing work, but you can be creative. Think of the creative things you can do to make your house look cool. Why not do them? I hear Rainey's voice. I don't know if she's coming in or not. Rainey! Rainey! You coming over? No answer. That's a no. So, look what Russ sent me. Russ, who owns the radio station, and he, of course, owns Trek Federation, Star Trek organization. We've talked about what he does and the sets they're building and stuff in their new store, and they do community outreach. But he sent me this little Bluetooth thing. That's like the communicator from, it's the communicator from Star Trek. And it's got the whole, and it's right there. And you can connect it. You can connect it to Bluetooth. So you can actually, it's not like a phone. You can't dial on it, but you can hook this up to your Bluetooth. And this baby will, you can take your call cert if you want. Other than that, it's heavy. It's like a prop, a movie prop or a television show prop. And it sits in its own stand here. It's got this magnetic stand, which is plugged in. Oh, you can't even see it here. The cord doesn't reach. Yeah, you can't reach it. But this whole thing sits right there in the magnetic stand, and that's how it charges and stays charged. And it's a display. So it sits as a nice display to go with all my other Star Trek junk. How about that? So Russ sent me that. So I make my house cool just by being in it, says Steph. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So. Ha, Carlene. Packing and cooking doesn't always mesh because the dish she needs is packed away already. I hate moving. You hear Rainey is talking in a terse voice upstairs. So kids are, oh, she went off the handle last night with these kids not picking up after themselves. And part of it is our house is all ripped up because of the floors and trying to keep it neat. And the kids don't do anything ever to help. It's like, this is your house too. You can pick up things. You don't have to step over them or walk through them, or we've talked about that before. So anyway, and without the carpet up there, you can hear all the footsteps. So we're putting down padding that's supposed to insulate that some. Sometimes we all snap. That's true, Steph. Boy, she snapped big time last night. And I didn't stay out of the way for fear of safety. I just stayed out of the way, let her do her thing. So, yeah, she was not a happy camper last night. Somebody's coming downstairs. I can hear that. It's on the other side of the wall is the stairway over there, on that end of the studio. So, I don't hear any doors, though. Somebody came down the stairs. Sometimes I think it's Rainy. It's only the dog. And Rainy outweighs the dog by quite a bit. It's like a 20-pound dog. I hate moving except for the move. It's Carlene, yeah. Packing and pack. I don't like, I get tired of moving. We've moved too much. And one place to another place, rental place to rental place to rental place. And it just it gets old. And renting a house, unless the people you're renting from are like, we just want to rent it out, and that's going to be your home. You can rent it for the next 30 years for all I care. You're not going to find a place in a rental house where it's not just done. But then, of course, it's done to put money in their pocket. Why does anybody buy or own rental property? Make a little money. I'd own rental property if I could, but I don't want to be a landlord. So, and landlord, such an antiquated term. The landlord. You ever think about that when you say that? We say it, we rattle that off so quickly. I can't paint the kitchen because I'd have to ask the landlord. And the landlord said in the lease that we couldn't change the colors of the walls. So there's a couple of things that brings up. Do all landlords view their property as this is just temporary? You're not ever going to want to ask to buy it. You're going to be in and out. And I don't want you to change colors because then I'm going to have to paint it in between everybody. I see that point. What if you want to paint something because you want to stay there for a while? You want to make that your home. No, you got to have white walls. Always white. Can't do anything other than white. Apartment white. And so we always got into the position of damage deposit. We'll just kiss that away so we can paint. We're just going to paint whatever color we want. And we didn't do it often, but we did it a couple of times when we were at some place for X number of years. You know, the one house in the woods. You remember that? That was the big one that we had to move out of, that we were really sad about. That whole nasty, dirty situation with the landlord. And he wasn't really a landlord. We were buying it on a contract for deed. Just elements of the contract went sour. And without getting into that again, I don't want to open up that old story. But we would paint there. And, of course, we were owning it. We were buying it. So it didn't matter to us as much there. But you paint your rooms. I like my rooms to have character in them. I like, it's like the floors in here and in there. It's a basement. We painted them that blood red, about the color of this Coke can, red. And looks great. So I like it. You do things to add character to your home. especially if you're going to be there for a while. White, and you can't hang anything on the wall, says Morgan. So, yeah, can't put a screw in the wall or a nail in the wall. You got to get those 3M sticky things to hang pictures on. It's like, am I renting this place to live in or just to make you money? And when you're renting out property for people to live in as their homes, how can you have rules in that place that makes them have to treat it not like a home? To treat it like I'm in and out. Hey, Sage Outcast, good to see you. Hey, now. So, Field Guy's been in his rental place for 12 years, and there's no carpet. Hope you have decent floors. This place came with holes and staples in the wall, pre-made. Nice. So as is. Yeah, you should be able to change and paint as long as you change it back to the original color when you leave. I think that's a good rule. That's a good leasing rule. That should be something because in this day and age when we live, everybody's leasing and renting more than they are buying. It has been the last few years anyway. And everybody wants to say light and transient. But what if you want to paint a wall red or blue or whatever? Should be just fine, so long as you change it back or you have a damage deposit that covers the painting if they're going to repaint their apartment. So it's like I used to say, you know, I'm renting in a place to live, not a place to have as a way station so you can rent it to somebody else. But that's what most rental places are. They're way stations. So Field Guy says the floors were changed out 8 or 9 months ago because the tiles came up and I cut my foot. Oh, well, good. It's good you got change in there. You should be able to change paint. Yep. Steph, what Steph said. I'm right there with Steph on that. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to get a Rainy sighting in here. She's avoiding us, I think. So, well, folks, we've been going for an hour. And I think we're going to call it a show today. We usually go a couple of hours. But since we've had Carlene called in, but there's no Uncle Dave, there's no Uncle John, there's no anybody else calling in for a conversation, I think we're going to call it today. And I want to thank you all for being here. Remember, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the main show, the Intrepid Radio program. You can find it right here, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be here for Monday, Wednesday, Friday of this week. Looking forward to seeing you. And in the meantime, everybody, you have a good rest of your Sunday, a good rest of your day. Hey, maybe, just let me know what you think, too. Maybe we should just do more topic-driven stuff on Sunday. I try to leave Sunday pretty open so we can all just talk about it, have coffee, and hang. But maybe I should have more topics to go on Sunday. Maybe it should be one of those like Sunday school type of shows. Let's dig in deep, But so far, Sundays is just for having fun, kicking back, letting down our hair, being cash. So everybody, in the meantime, thanks for being here. Love you all. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Live long and prosper.